Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I am doing my DIY for July's Year of the Ear. The theme was mice, and I will leave that playlist below for you guys to check out if you did not catch up on that. Here I'm just ironing out the fabric I'm going to be using and trying to figure out and lay out exactly where I want this phrase to go. I actually went with the Cinderella mice, and the "We Can Do It" is a little nod to one of the songs in there when they are creating Cinderella's special dress. So you have a friend trying to supervise what I was doing. But I know you guys have seen people do stuff with a Cricut before, so I'm just gonna go ahead and talk through this. I decided to make a play on a pair of ears that I made over for Nina from Wrestling with Disney to give to Alicia at Cinderella Loves Disney. And so I just made those ears again, but I did them a little bit different because I wanted the ones I made for Alicia to be unique and the ones that I made for Tony to be unique as well. And there's nothing more satisfying than peeling that vinyl off, the transfer. That always makes me so happy. So I have started using poster board. It's the foam board you can get at the Dollar Tree, and I prefer it to make my ears now. I think you should definitely give it a go. So I'm just matching up the ears and using that darker fabric for the front side of the ears. And I actually got this little blue headband I thought would look perfect. And these beads came from Hobby Lobby as well as the ribbon. And I found this cute little travel sewing kit at the Dollar Tree, and I wanted to utilize some of the threads that I already had. But I loved this little travel case because it had these cute little scissors in them, and I was going to use that measuring tape, but it's paper, so I ended up throwing it away. You'll see that later. But I wanted to utilize some colors of thread that kind of complemented Cinderella and the outfits that the little mice are wearing here. I will say, if you get this little kit, these scissors are perfect for crafting or using on a pair of ears, but not for actual using. And I'm going to be using fabric glue along with a hot glue gun to secure the mice to the actual ears themselves. But everyone has seen how you put ears together, so I'm going to kind of fly through this and not really talk a whole lot. I just love to watch people do this too, so I left the footage in. One thing I will say that I am enjoying so much more with my ears is that I do not like them overstuffed. I like them to have a little bit of stuffing or absolutely flat versus having them overstuffed and tight, because it can tend to misshapen the ears and it can also make them super heavy to wear, and no one wants ears falling off their head. So I've started using a lot less fiber fill than I used to, and it just feels so much better on your head when you're wearing the ears. So it gives them a little fluff, but if you have them so overstuffed, they also don't really look like mouse ears anymore. So I try to keep the Mickey Mouse shape as much as possible. You can see with the ones lying flat there, they still have their shape from not being overstuffed. So just, if you've never made ears before, less is more. So now I'm just going to be securing the trim on. I did, like I said before, get this trim at Hobby Lobby. I love how delicate this fabric looks, and whenever I completed my ears and sent them off to Tony, I actually had to add a second row because it was hard to see when I'm making them, but once I started photographing them, which you'll see at the end, you could kind of see the dark pink underneath that white trim from looking from the light pink side. So maybe you'll see what I'm talking about later if there's a little shot of it, but I did end up going back and adding another row of it, and it's just my go-to trim because it's so delicate and feminine and just so girly, and I think it adds a nice touch, and it's also a nod to some really pretty pearls that you could also use for trim if you couldn't find this specific trim in your store. Here you can see I'm trying to figure out how to make that thing work, but no, I ended up throwing it away. And I do not use a spacing template, I use my table. If you can see that strip of the wood going straight down, that is kind of how I mark my center. I know, I'm weird, but I just love to do it that way, but you do what works for you. And I love this sequin fabric. I did layer a piece of fabric on the inside so it wasn't so transparent and less likely to get burned as well. So make sure that you pick up some rubber grips for your fingertips too, because no one wants to be burned. And especially using sheer ribbon like I'm using here in the center of the bow. It is such a beautiful pink iridescent color. I don't know, I just love all these little colors together, pink and silver and blue. It just looks so girly, it's so cute, and I love that ribbon. As a matter of fact, toward the end of the ears, I actually put a little bow on the front too to kind of finish it off. So I'm using that pink ribbon again, along with some white lace ribbon that I found, and I just kind of layered them or stacked them over each other a little bit so you could see the pink out of the top a little bit, and then you could also see it peeking through some of the lace. So it just added a little bit more of that softer pink to the front to kind of break up the darker pink that is in Cinderella's special dress. And I thought it would be really cute to carry over some of the fabric pieces, the remnant fabrics or whatever trim from the back side. So there I did go ahead and scrap that measuring tape. That's the word. Brain did not want to activate just then. But anyway, so I am securing this with the fabric glue as well as some hot glue and just pressing those on. And you want to make sure that you're not pressing down too hard or the glue will ooze out the sides. So just use your judgment whenever you're adding these on. I did find these felties on Etsy a long time ago, so I would definitely check on there if you would like, or if you would like me to make a pair. I do not have an Etsy shop anymore, but I do have my Instagram page. It is the West Wing Ear Shop, so I would be happy to put some ears together for you. So here I am just finishing up putting these cute little mice on. Aren't they adorable? I tell you what, I have not made myself a pair of these yet, but I absolutely need to. So I'm going in with the pink ribbon first, and I just put it right on the edge of where the ears kind of go together and meet that trim on the edge, and just going across and securing it underneath that bow. One thing I really do, and if you've ever got a pair of ears from me before, you know that I do it. I love to secure the bottom of the bow and the side of the bow that's overlapping the ears to the ears itself. That way it's not getting damaged or smushed or wrinkled up when it's being packaged to send to someone else. I just think it adds an extra touch of security to keep that a little bit more stable, and it'll cover anything else that you are putting up underneath there. So it gives you an opportunity to still fluff out your bow. What are words, Heather? And I'm just repeating that process on the other side as well. Now for the fun part. For these push pins, I actually lay them at an angle on a flat surface, and then I bend them so that the very bottom of them is flat. So you have it like in an L shape basically, because I'm going to be gluing them to the bottom and wanting them to stick straight up like they are sticking into a pin cushion that you just won't see because of the thread. Now I'm just kind of playing with how I want the back of these to lay and how I want it to look, and just utilizing all of the pieces from that Dollar Tree sewing kit. You can always leave the beading on the strands that you get from Hobby Lobby. However, mine was going to be a little bit too long, so I actually took some Stretch Magic cord, I guess, Stretch Magic cord to restring these beads, and then I tied a knot on each end, and I felt like that was going to be a little bit more secure. So I just went ahead and measured how much I needed and used only those beads for that side. That way, if you have any other projects, you have beads left over that you can utilize as well. So I only really used half of the strand for this project in particular. So I have another strand I can work with at a later date. But I love this color of beads, and I just thought they were a perfect little addition to these ears. So to lay out my beads, I just ran a line of hot glue on the actual headband and on the ears themselves. That way the back and the bottom of the beads are secure. And I took a few extra beads here and just added the little bit that have fallen out of the sewing kit. And then here I am on the front going ahead to make just a little simple bow. Just add a little something extra, a little dimension to this bow that I've already made. And I will say that the little sewing kit came with the cutest little clearish white buttons, and I ended up using those on the back of the ears to make a little hidden Mickey. So I hope that was a cute little surprise when she received her ears. So here is what they look like, and there you can tell on the back on that left ear I made a hidden Mickey. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you next time.